Good afternoon and thank you so much for joining us here on Channel 1 Lunchtime News on this 30th day of April 2018. My name is Brenda Zedaradido and a sign language interpreter. On the bottom right of your screen is Susan Thuku. And on that note, we begin our lunchtime news with the latest update concerning the floods that have been affecting different parts of the country. And 50 people whose homes were swept away by landslide in Murang'a County have now been evacuated to a nearby polytechnic amid pleas to well wishers to assist them with relief food and basic commodities. According to the local leadership, a large number of affected residents have, however, refused to leave their farms in the aftermath of the tragedy.
Gitu Polytechnic in Murang'a County is now home to over 50 people, all victims of a landslide that killed 4 people, injured 10 others, and caused destruction to dozens of households. Mary Wamboi, who is expectant, recounts how she narrowly escaped death after her 2 children, barely 11 years old, dug her out of the mud in the middle of night.
Maji ikakuwa ni mingi na hiyo matope ilikuwa mingi sana. Nikaingia huko ndani mpaka kwa chingo. Sasa vile niliona nitakufa, niliambia watoto wangu, wakaruka. Wakasema, mama, hakuna kukuasha. Pali utakufia na sisi tutakufa. Wakanishika mkono, wakanifuruta, nikatokea.
Her encounter not too different from her newfound neighbors as they plead with well wishers to assist them with relief food and basic commodities. According to Madhio Sub-County Administrator Samuel Mwangi, a large number of residents are still at risk as the heavy downpour continues to wreak havoc countrywide.
Kuna watu wachache wamekatalia huko chini, ambapo tunataka kutumia serikali na chief. Tumesema tutaenda kuwavurusha, kuwatoa cha nguvu, juu tutatumia nguvu. Uhai umepewa na Mungu, lakini serikali iko hapa kuchunga hiyo uhai yako.
Authorities have challenged the National Disaster and Management Unit to put in place measures to avert such losses.
We are going to work together with the government to see whether we can even have plans to relocate, whether we can be able to even get extra land for these people. Maybe they can be going to the farms, but I don't think it's habitable anymore.
In Baringo County, over 300 families have been displaced after their residences were submerged by floods.
Mashule yote yenye iko ngambo ile hakuna watoto ambao watafika. I am appealing to the Minister of Education, especially now that mashule inafunguliwa, for them to do something faster. Leo na kesho wahakikisha kwamba kuna alternative.
Tuliama ni shule, hata hakuna kitanda, unalala tu chini. Na mablanketi sote zimeingia na maji, tulianika lakini maji tunakuja kuchukua.
Also affected are schools including Sintam, Loropil, Ngambo and Longewon high schools, which will not reopen for the second time on Wednesday as scheduled. A similar situation is unfolding in Kirinyaga County, where 4 primary schools have also been submerged following heavy rains. Over 300 families have been left homeless, with Area Member of Parliament Kabinga Wadayo seeking relief aid from the national government. Farmers in the area have in the recent weeks lost over 10,000 acres of maize and beans crops due to extremely frosty weather. Boris Gakwa for Channel 1 Lunchtime News.
Thank you, Rose Gago, for that report. And now to political matters, where a section of leaders from Baringo County have rubbished the clamor to amend the constitution, arguing it will affect the stability of the country. Elsewhere, Kajiado County leaders are vowing to embrace unity and promote the country's development agenda in the event the country will be subjected to a referendum.
Kajiado County leaders have pledged to work together for the sake of developing the county. Area Governor Joseph Ole Lenku said for years the region has faced political divisions that have negatively affected service delivery.
Najua Mheshimiwa Simel amekuwa ni mwanasiasa mzito katika Kajiado County. Unajua ilikuwa upande wa ODM, lakini hata kabla ya hii uchaguzi yeye alikuwa amerudia rais, na tunamshukuru. Leo tukafika kwake kwa sherehe tu ya kuhakikisha kwamba tunatembea safari moja na kuzungumza kama viongozi wa Kajiado vile tutapeleka kaunti pamoja, vile tutaunganisha watu, na kwa hivyo leo hii ni handshake ya masaidi ya watu kutembea pamoja.
Ole Lenku urged locals to bury the political hatchet and focus on service delivery. And Jomvu, Member of Parliament Badi Twalib, has asked leaders opposed to the Uhuru Raila Unity Pact to tread cautiously.
Sisi tukiwa wananasa hatufikirii mambo ya 2022 kwa wakati huu. Wakati huu kama alivyosema Mheshimiwa Rais Uhuru Kenyatta ni wakati wa kufanya kazi na viongozi wamechaguliwa ili kufanya kazi. Wakati wa siasa ukifika, kila mmoja wanaume watakunja mashati na wataingia kiwanjani na kumenyana.
Twalib said the Unity Pact is meant to ensure national cohesion and eliminate regional balkanization.
Section of Busia County leaders are cautioning against politicizing the issue of teachers' transfers. At the same time, they have decried the redeployment of teachers, arguing it will negatively affect the education system.
The mass transfer of teachers remain a contentious issue, with political leaders from Busia County cautioning the mass transfer of teachers was against the law that governed deployment of teachers. They want the national government to consider the welfare of teachers and ensure that they are well remunerated.
Ningependa kuomba serikali hasa Teacher Service Commission wahakikishe kuwa hao walimu pia welfare yao inaangaliwa, ndio motivation wawe naye juu ya kufanya kazi. Ungetaka wapewe kwa mfano transfer allowance. Sisi wengine na transfer allowance inalipwa hawa walimu ambao wanahamishwa kutoka hapa kwenda sehemu zingine.
They also cautioned against playing politics with issues of education.
Come to sit down as leaders, tukubaliane. Kama kuna mtu anaonekana performance yake ni iko chini na anataka kuwa transferred, akuwe transferred. But do not take the best teachers that we have and then you bring other teachers that wale hawako kwa.
This comes as the government effects the transfer of teachers in a bid to improve the education system.
Now, meanwhile, 3 suspected robbers were this morning shot dead by police who foiled a burglary at a go-down at Kimakis area of the Ruiru bypass. Kiambu County Commander Adel Nyange said one suspect was arrested and an AK-47 gun was recovered during the incident.
The owner of these premises, actually this distributor, informed the police that you can see from a CCTV camera that they were robbers who were actually breaking into these premises. They were cutting the razor wire plus the electrical wires, and they started entering inside from Baaid. The police officers moved swiftly into the scene, and immediately after they arrived, these thugs and sentries whom they had posted to watch when the police will be coming, and immediately after the police arrived, they were challenged, but instead the thugs started shooting to the police. 3 were fatally injured and 1 was arrested.
Kijabe Mission Hospital conducted a free circumcision exercise at Naivasha Maximum Prison. The exercise saw inmates undergo the voluntary cut as part of the government's effort to contain the spread of HIV/AIDS among vulnerable groups.
Led by medics, the inmates were cancelled on the benefits of getting circumcised. During the event, the hospital also donated various materials, including shaving machines. According to Penina Kahura, a medic from the hospital, the initiative was part of a wider move to reach out to the community and the less privileged.
And we came to give 3 services. One is to do voluntary male circumcision, of which so far we have done 5 of them. We have a total of 8 to do. We had scheduled for 10. 2 of them have shied off.
She said they were alerted on the increasing numbers of uncircumcised inmates and decided to offer help, adding that the move will reduce transmission of sexually transmitted diseases by nearly 60% as per the studies. The prison's welfare officer, Moses Kodek, thanked the hospital for agreeing to partner with the prisons to uplift the welfare of inmates.
Himiza watu yote sana sana wale wako huko nje ambao ni community, wakati hao wenzetu wanatoka gerezani wakubali na wajue kuwa sisi kama magereza tumefanya kazi yetu, tumewafanya wamekuwa watu wazuri, wamerekebika, na wakiingia kwa community waingie wasaidie na waendelee na role zao kwa familia kama baba, kama ndugu.
He at the same time called on communities where the inmates came from to accept them back once they are through with their sentences. One of the inmates, Peter Maina, praised the new move to offer the critical service to them, saying it would support them overcome the challenges they face while behind bars.
Na ndio nasema kwamba mkifanya kitu kama itaweza kuwa kitu ya maana sana kwa mfungwa. Wakati mfungwa amejua hali yake ni kitu ya maana.
All right, so far you're up to date with what's been making headlines in Kenya. Allow me to take a short breather, but don't go too far because we still have a lot lined up for you, including international news, sports and business later on with Regina Manyawa-Guitar.
For you to win big with Mega Dollar. Just go to Lipa na M-Pesa, enter paybill number 295888, account name KBC, and amount from 10 shillings or more. Then select your 10 numbers from 1 to 80 and send to 29588. You can win up to 30 million shillings. Start playing now and win. Mega Dollar. Big winners every 4 minutes.
Abundant as it is a threat to tourism and the environment. We have Meriliki girls going against St. Francis Mangu girls.
The Lamu Coal project should be done with, as it is a major possible catastrophe to tourism and the environment.
The coal plant provides most stable and reliable source of energy, in that the project will generate a gross power of 1,050 megawatts.
Vote for KBC Channel 1 as your favorite TV station for the Kuza Broadcasting Awards 2018. SMS the word Kuza to 15601. It's absolutely free. Voting ends on 9th May. Vote, vote, vote.
Welcome back and thank you for keeping it Channel 1 Lunchtime News, and we continue the bulletin. The chairman of the National Police Service Commission, that is Johnston Kavulude, is urging education stakeholders, including the clergy, to invest in capacity leadership programs for better management of schools. Kavuludi, who also challenged men and women of the cloth to use their influence to foster peace for the economic prosperity of their respective regions and the country at large. The career educationist was speaking during an ordination service at the Bungoma ACK Church. During the ceremony officiated by Bishop retired Reverend John Mechumo, a 94-year-old widow, Elizabeth Munialo, was among those ordained as canon lay leader.
Education remains key. Let's continue to develop our educational institutions. Let's continue to support education programs in this region. Let's get to see management of institutions taking a better shape. And let us use all our resources to develop our schools. Because now we have so many universities here. We will not leave them to other people from elsewhere to occupy. Yes, we know that our children will also go elsewhere. But what are we doing for ourselves?
Now let's shift our focus to one of our top story, and that is the task force that was investigating the logging that was happening in different forests across the country. And Deputy President William Ruto is now calling for the implementation of recommendations made by the task force established to probe forest resources management and illegal logging in the country. Now, the Deputy President, who received the report this morning, said the document will advise on whether the government should partially or completely ban logging. The 15-member task force was formed after the government suspended logging for 3 months, citing wanton destruction of the country's forests.
The task force report so that we can quickly seize the moment and ensure that we have a plan that will enable the government of Kenya take charge of the huge issue that currently is in the minds of the people of Kenya, of the management of our forest resources, and ensuring that on a sustainable basis there is a clarity on the plan to be implemented by the government. I have thanked the task force for spending their most valuable time, and they have done a patriotic, they have made their contribution as patriotic citizens of our country under very difficult circumstances, but they have done a wonderful job, I want to promise you. And Waziri, in the next 10 days, we hope to present this report and the implementation matrix to His Excellency the President, so that we can get to hit the ground running.
Right, let's cross over to the international scene, and United States President Donald Trump is expected to host Nigerian President Muhammadu Buhari at the White House in what will be his first official visit from an African head of state. Now, the invite was issued earlier this month with the intention for both leaders to discuss ways of promoting economic growth, fighting terrorism, and enhancing Nigeria's role as a democratic leader in the region.
Nigerian President Muhammadu Buhari will become the first African leader to be received by U.S. President Donald Trump after he arrives in Washington for talks. The two leaders are expected to discuss shared economic and security interests. Buhari, who is seeking re-election in 2019, is also expected to stress that he is committed to democracy despite rampant corruption and poor governance in the Western African country. After the talks, the Nigerian leader is due to meet businesses specializing in agriculture. Senior Nigerian government officials will also discuss a number of projects with executives from major U.S. transport companies. Back in Nigeria, President Buhari faces multiple security challenges, including the 9-year-old insurgency by Boko Haram jihadists in the northern east and mounting insecurity in the Middle Belt. The White House has sold 12 counter-insurgency aircraft worth $496 million to Nigeria to help in fight against Boko Haram. Sharon Zay, Lunchtime News.